All right, 7:39. We're going to make a quick break here on news and catch you up on what's happening here in Southern Oregon. And then Commissioner Cherryl Walker is going to join me. And oddly enough, we talked with Dale last hour about the interesting funding for the park that we've been kicking this around for a few days. And everybody loves parks, but, is it economic development? We'll have her. She wants to come on and refute some of those points made last hour. We'll do it next. Well, like I mentioned last hour, I lost a bet that I made with Dale Matthews, the citizen advocate or activist from badcounty.com. And I said, hey, there's no way that they're going to approve economic development money for this state park in Josephine County in the Illinois Valley because it just doesn't make sense, the claims for jobs. I just didn't think that made sense. I think it's a wonderful thing to rebuild the park. Don't get me wrong. I've said this right from the start, but I just didn't think it was... Well, I just don't think it was accurately portrayed. I don't know, as economic development. But I'm willing to listen to the opposition here, too, or at least the opposing viewpoint, I should say. Josephine County Commissioner Cherryl Walker, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Commissioner, bring us up here. I'm kind of surprised you guys all went for it yesterday. But anyway, give us your take.
Well, the public should not be surprised that we go for it because in Josephine County, tourism and parks is a huge part of our economy. Mm-hmm. And this is the only state park that we have, and it's at the confluence of the Illinois River on the forks of the river. That's why it's called Forks Park. And Josephine County, as a county government, we own almost all the access to the Rogue River in Josephine County. We have 18 boat ramps. And all of our campgrounds in the camp season, summer season, as soon as the weather is good, our campgrounds are full. And those people come in and they bring all kinds of money to the county for camping gear, food, restaurants, mm-hmm. gasoline, grocery stores, souvenirs, fishing gear, hiking gear.
I agree. I agree with you. Having a nice state park is a good community asset, and we can all agree on this. But what I'm focusing on is the lottery money, the rationale for taking the economic development money and giving it to the group that is working on doing the wheelchair ramps. The rationale is that the addition, and I read the proposal. I had the proposal. Roger ended up sharing it to me, and he's a nice guy. It seems like it's good people involved in here. Lots of community involvement and volunteers. This is all good, but basically making the case that 117 to some 200 full-time jobs were going to be connected with taking lottery economic development funding and putting in wheelchair ramps, and that just stretches reality in my view. So where am I wrong here?
When people have access to facilities, and we don't have all that many fully accessible parks for handicapped people anywhere in the state of Oregon, there are very few, mm-hmm. and we will have one of those few that people can come in and see this scenic area. And when they come, like I said, they bring their money, and these restaurants and grocery stores and gas stations have to hire people.
So we're looking for... is it about attracting the handicapped camper? Is that kind of what for lack of a better term?
There are handicapped campers, yes.
Well, sure, I know, but I'm just wondering, what's the percentage of... I mean, we're claiming 117 to 200 full-time jobs. It's a lot of work. It really is. That is
a multiplier effect that is used on every economic development project in the entire state, probably every state of the country. That if for every person that comes into a facility, whether it is a job that is in manufacturing or whether it is a job in retail or in this case recreation or tourism, you have to take into account the multiplier effect of those people and their consumerism for the community. And because there are not that many handicap locations in the state, when people are going on vacation or recreating and I have to have wheelchair access, they look for those. And that's the locations where they stop. That's where they camp. That's where they spend time. And you have to realize that Forks State Park isn't the only attraction in the Illinois Valley. We have the Oregon Caves, and there are people that come to the Oregon Caves. And if we have places where they can camp and stay.
Do we have wheelchair ramps over at Oregon Caves? For camping? I don't know.
No, there's no camping.
Yeah,
at the Oregon
think so.
Caves. No. And but the chateau is there. We have people that will come to that one, and just because you can't get a wheelchair into the caves doesn't mean people don't want to go there for the atmosphere and see the sights. We also have the Smoke Jumper Museum at our Illinois Valley.
The multiplier.
So there's a lot of
the multiplier effect, though, seems vastly vastly exaggerated, though. I mean, you can say that this is what is commonly expected, but I mean, the whole grant funding stream seems to be built on a fraud, in my view. But let's just say, I could see somebody saying that maybe we'll get a handful of retail jobs, but the idea that, but remember, they were saying that people were going to move to the Illinois Valley in the proposal here, Commissioner Walker. And the proposal said that people would move to the Illinois Valley because of the beautification of this park and bring their wealth and such. And I just don't see that. I could see certainly people wanting to stay in the Illinois Valley if you get rid of the druggies in the park, but that's another issue.
Well, I think the people are making that don't understand economic development are making something more of this than what it is. $5,000 is a minuscule part.
Of course it is, but it's still being sold. But it's still being sold with a falsehood, in my view.
No, I don't believe that. You have to use multiplier effects, and that's what we do. Uh-huh. And what we're going to have in Illinois Valley is currently the county has entered into a contract for a facility at our airport that, again, we look at a multiplier effect for economic development.
Is this the drone project?
Yes.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That's demonstrable. You have contracts and you have hard jobs that we're talking about. This is pie in the sky.
When you talk about an area, we are looking at the big picture of the area.
Uh-huh.
If we're bringing more people in, the more projects that we have, the more amenities that we have, the more jobs that will take place out there.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why doesn't Josephine County then build another park, and then we could have 400 jobs created? Just build the park itself and create more handicap parking and camping and such.
We have a lot of parks in Josephine County. The county owns a lot of them, and currently we are investing money into our Whitehorse Park to do that very thing. Because most of our parks were built at a time when the RVs or the trailers that came in were small, and now they're much larger. So Whitehorse Park is one we are focusing on to provide for the larger RVs and motorhomes and to put in some yurts. And that's a project that's in about a 3-phase project that we have undertaken to improve that park. It's one of our oldest parks. It's one of the best parks, and it's close to town. And so, yes, we're investing in that.
All right. So let's go back to this park here, the park that we were discussing in the first place. Do you have a metric in place that after all of this gets built and it's all completed, that we will now be able to track the 117 to 214 or so full-time jobs created? Will there be a metric so that you can say, yep, look what happened after we did this, and directly connect it?
Anytime you have a project that goes into an area, and as you view your economic development that takes place over time, you will be able to see that connected with the projects such as the Illinois Valley Improvement and the projects that are going out the Oregon Caves, you will be able to take the number of jobs that are created and take that back to the development that has taken place over time.
Can you directly connect it, though? Because this is the proposal. The proposal directly says influencing. How do you track it? Because, I can say it. I'm not trying to call prettifying the park ugly. This is a wonderful thing. It's a community asset. I just don't see it as a pure economic development play. That's all.
Well, in our county, parks are economic development. They bring millions into our county. Mm-hmm. So, we don't have any problem with putting $5,000 into a project that is going to increase.
I don't have any problem with $5,000 going into it either. I just think it's being sold as a lie. That's all. That's what I don't think it's being sold truthfully.
And I don't agree.
Okay. Well, you and I will disagree on that, Commissioner, but I appreciate you coming in and talking about it. I really would. I guess within the next year or two, we'll be able to see a tracking an explosion of Josephine County GDP. I mean, you get a couple hundred full-time jobs connected with something like this, then that'll be a huge success story.
It certainly would.
All right. Thank you for the call, Commissioner. Appreciate you being on. Okay.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
All right. You too now.